That was really the primary focus, to bring this opportunity to skating markets that don't really get to meet these people.
Hello and welcome to the Silicon Valley Esports Podcast. Today we have a fabulous guest on, Amy from Road to Gold.
Sarah, thank you so much. And first, can I just say I've never done a podcast before, so be gentle. I'm super excited, but I've never done it before. So I am from Kansas City. I coach in Kansas City. I've been in this area most of my life. Spent some time in Colorado Springs where I met some fabulous people. But this is where I kind of grew up skating and came back here to teach. I'm a mom. I have two kids. They're not really kids. They're grown-ups now. They're in their 20s. But yeah, I'm just a coach in general. I mean, that's kind of what I am.
So really kind of organic grassroots in the skating community.
Absolutely.
So founding an organization was kind of not something you had done before.
Certainly not on my radar. Not anything that I had thought of in my wildest imagination. Not. I like to say Road to Gold found me, and I didn't really find it. It was nothing that I had ever considered or even thought about. I had done a few locally here for my club, and that was about it.
Wow. That's awesome. And so, so tell us a little bit about what is Road to Gold for those who may not know.
So Road to Gold is a traveling skating camp. It's usually a weekend. Gracie Gold and Jeffrey Varner are our primary coaches, but we have a whole staff, a whole team of amazing elite skaters and athletes and coaches that go to rinks and clubs and just spend a weekend getting to know the kids, working on skills, just helping build community and teaching.
Love that. Really net positive for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So awesome. So take us back in time a little bit. So you talked about being a coach. How does Road to Gold come into the picture? And, tell us about why you wanted to found Road to Gold.
Like I said, it kind of found me. In 2018, John Coughlin was living in Kansas City and working with some of my athletes. And he came back from nationals that year and said, "Hey, Amy, I want to do a skating camp here in Kansas City. I, saw Gracie at nationals. We spent a lot of time together. I want her to see how important she is to the skating community. And I want these kids to meet her. And so I'd like to bring her to Kansas City, to my hometown, just to do a weekend seminar." That was in January. The first Road to Gold was in March because I said, absolutely 100%, let's do it. It was an amazing weekend, just amazing. It was magical. The kids fell in love with Gracie. It was just a really amazing time. John and I kind of laughed about taking it on the road and calling it the John and Gracie Road Show because it was just so fun. It was so fun for everybody involved. Not thinking that that's really what would happen. Within a couple of days, he and I both started getting emails and phone calls saying, "Hey, we heard you did this camp. Would you mind bringing it to our rink? Could you come to our club and work with our kids?" So we sat on it a couple of days. And then I got a message from John that said, "I talked to Gracie. She is 100% in, but will you do this with us?" So that's kind of where it began. And Gracie and I have decided to continue this. And we brought in Jeff Varner to kind of help our team out. And here we are.
Incredible. And now how many camps have you guys hosted since the beginning?
Gosh, we do 8 to 10 a year. So we've done quite a few. We've been all over the country. We've been to Alaska twice, which was kind of exciting.
That's fun.
A lot of Midwest things, a couple on each coast, but not many. Ice time seems to be a little expensive on the coasts. And so that's a bit prohibitive.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely dive into that in a little bit.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about Road to Gold, about what sort of separates it from other camps, because it does seem to have a little sparkle, and I'm curious.
Well, thank you. I think it has a sparkle. I've always thought it had a sparkle. Honestly, the passion that these coaches have and that I have to bring this to small markets, that was really the primary focus, to bring this opportunity to skating markets that don't really get to meet these people. They don't get to see the coaches. They don't get to see the athletes they see on TV. And so our goal was to bring it to small markets and kind of help build that community, because skaters are skaters, whether they're elite athletes and you see them on TV or they're working on an axle at home. We're all the same. We all share the same passion. So that's our primary goal. And I think that's what gives it the little sparkle. I mean, I know there are lots of camps, and I'm sure they're all amazing and they all each have their own unique aspects. But that's one of the things that I think really sets us apart. Gracie does offer an opportunity for the kids to sit down, and for a while we did, let's talk about your journey, the things that she wrote in her book, where pre-teenagers could kind of see that she's just like them,
Mhm.
even though she's like this star on TV and they, think of her as different. They see that she's just like them. And she's very open. If you've read her book, I'm sure you can tell she's very open and honest. And so that's kind of a really neat aspect. We now have kind of pivoted a little bit and we want to talk to the high school kids, maybe the adults about how do you continue that passion? How do you continue training even when priorities shift and we get a little bit older and a little, things change a little bit. So
No,
that's the
that's so
focus.
important because I think in a lot of cases, the scheduling, I mean, obviously scheduling changes from being a kid to being an adult, priorities change. But I just know, I personally know so many adult skaters who still like love it. So that's a really awesome thing, I think, to kind of highlight, and especially in those like high school years as people are trying to figure out what their future looks like.
Right. And it's such a turbulent year sometimes anyway, time between, like high school and going to college. And, I still love to skate, but what do I do? So Gracie really wants to address that. And so at our camp in Utah, I think we're going to have the opportunity for skaters to talk to her about that.
That's exciting. Yeah, no, that's so important. Yeah, keeping things sort of longer term rather than sort of the sort of younger focus that I've occasionally seen in camps.
Right, right. Because I think people forget that it's a passion for everybody. We've hosted three. This will be our fourth adult camp.
Oh, cool.
Um, Absolutely love working with the adults. They're so passionate, and it's just a whole different feel from the kids. They're there because they are 100% making it happen for themselves.
That's such a good point. Yeah, the motivation is a lot more intrinsic as opposed to maybe, external, right? And so if they're there skating as an adult, then they truly want to be there. There's no one maybe in the background, making
Absolutely.
suggestions for it. So that's so cool. Okay, so let's pivot a little bit. So we talked about sort of the unique characteristics of Road to Gold, and you guys recently launched a not-for-profit arm of Road to Gold. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this has been kind of on my back burner for a little while. Um, and I finally found the people to help me make it happen because we are a community. Honestly, the people that have helped me make Road to Gold Gives Back happen are former students of mine, people that I've known for years since they were kids. And
Wow.
they've jumped in and said, hey, you know what? I'm a CPA and I have experience in nonprofits. I'm in marketing. And it's been fabulous. So that's been really nice. It's called Road to Gold Gives Back. And we give grants to skaters of all levels. It's not for elite athletes. It's
Hmm.
not for like the high level kids, really. It's for the grassroots. Mom and dad really want their kid to be able to continue skating, but maybe don't have the financial means to do that. And so this is our second year of giving grants. So we're still pretty new. But yeah, we give grants last year. Our first year we helped skaters get two pairs of skates. We had two skaters got brand new skates, and one club, we helped them buy a jump harness for the club members.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got an application from one of their members, one of the skaters, and said, I want to help my club. And
Oh,
so we were able to help with that.
that's so wonderful. That's such a like really lovely thing to give to the community, especially the skating community, that you guys are able to do that.
Well, and we know skating's not inexpensive. Initially, I wanted to be able to help clubs host a camp because there are a lot of clubs that are small. We're in the grassroots area that it's hard. I mean, it's hard to bring in a camp. It's expensive. You've got flights and hotels and coaching and all that other stuff. So it's as much as we want to do it inexpensively, it's not always a possibility. We kind of decided to pivot into just giving skaters grants because we saw so many families that needed help.
Definitely. As you were kind of alluding to earlier, especially as you get to the coast, ice time really goes up as far as costs. And so if there's anything that can kind of offset that, I'm sure that that's really helpful.
Yes. Yeah. So we're about ready to provide our grants for this year. We're kind of finishing up taking applications. If
Mhm.
anybody's interested, we have great raffles on our website. That's how we're raising money. Had some fabulous businesses that have helped. Rink Rabbit, the new hot skate backpack. We have the blush pink one that we can
Ooh.
raffle. We have some skating wear. I'm from Kansas City, so we have some Chiefs items that we'll raffle later in the season. The Cardinals organization, the other side of the state, has helped us out. There's a bunch of stuff on there, and there will be, and that's how we're hoping to raise money. But we always, of course, accept donations as well. I also want to mention this year, HD Sports in the UK, who are the distributors for Aura skates and MK John Wilson blades, have given us 4 pair of skates in order to grant those to kids in need. So that's very exciting. I
That's fun.
contacted them and they immediately jumped in and said, we want to help.
That's amazing. I love when the community comes together and like really rallies around something. It
Yeah.
speaks to the quality, the mission that you guys are working on, and
Yeah.
that's super important. So
Yeah. It's
I
been
love that.
fantastic.
That's so awesome. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the skaters you've had the opportunity to work with? And then also, I mean, in this kind of same vein of mission drive, what do you think it is that drives elite skaters to want to get involved with Road to Gold?
So Gracie and Jeff, who I mentioned, are our primary coaches. They're the first two. And then we've had a whole host of people, of skaters and coaches who have asked, who have automatically said, yes, we want to be a part of this. Max Aaron is a works with us quite often. Jeremy Abbott, Mariah Nagasu, Eddie Shipstad. Amber Glenn did a camp for us recently. She was phenomenal and such a kind person and happy to jump in and help. Drew Meekins. Gosh, I worked with so many amazing people. And I really think they just want to share their passion for the sport.
Love
They
it.
see that we're all one community. We're not like us and them, and
Mhm.
they just want to give back.
That's such a good point. I mean, because I think sometimes as a recreational skater or someone who's maybe not, hyper competitive, there can be this perception that elite skaters are sort of separate from the other skaters. So I love what I hear about your camp, and you guys are combining those things and sort of almost like infusing passion for the sport. And I think maybe there was even a story you told me about someone going home after that and sort of changing course correcting a little bit there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
after one of the times that Gracie was able to talk to some of our teenagers and pre-teenagers, I got a few calls from parents saying, oh my gosh, my daughter's talked to me about things that she's never opened up about. So it was just that like, this is Gracie Gold. I've seen her on TV. Oh my gosh, she has the same problems, the same issues that I have that just really kind of bonded them a bit. And I feel like a lot of the kids and adults that come to our camps, we feel like they're friends.
That's so special. I mean, it's really hard to anywhere in life have those kind of connections. And especially in such a passionate and sometimes competitive sport to be able to create that is really cool. So,
Yeah. And I mean, it's not uncommon for some of the coaches to remember the skaters year to year. So if they see them again, they can call them by name and they remember what they worked on the last year. Imagine Gracie Gold saying, hey, how's your axle coming along? Like, because they really do care. They really invest their time.
and especially at that level, there's so many ways that someone could spend their time and they're choosing to spend it with Road to Gold. So it clearly has some significant meaning to the community and to the elite skaters. So that's
Yes, absolutely.
awesome. Awesome. Okay, so we touched on this a little bit earlier, and now we can chat a little bit more about it. So in the Bay Area, a lot of skaters really have to compete for time to skate or for what we call ice time. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience with ice time? And maybe, if we'll see a camp in California or if you've tried to bring it in and what you've experienced.
Sure. Like I said, most of our camps are in the Midwest. Ice time seems to be a little more reasonable there,
Mhm.
a little more accessible. Not always, but a little bit. We have done a camp in San Diego a few years back. The cost of ice time is a bit prohibitive though, because obviously we have to buy ice time or the club has to buy ice time to host these camps. And we like to do 4 to 5 hours of ice time a day when we're there. And that's a lot.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it does prohibit where we can go and the affordability of what we can do.
Now, is that something that you see like specific to California/West Coast, or have you seen that other places? Like, I'd love to hear a little bit. No.
So the East Coast, I think, is the same. We haven't done a lot on the East Coast, and sometimes clubs or rinks, they just purchase the ice, and so I don't really see the cost of their ice. So I can't really 100% speak to what it is exactly, but I know that there have been several clubs that have said, we just unfortunately that we don't have ice available. We want to do this, but it's not available to us, and for us to purchase say 8 to 10 hours of ice in a weekend is a little expensive.
No, definitely. I mean, that's as a nonprofit organization who occasionally hosts galas and robotics programming. We see some very similar challenges. Actually, this year we had to move our robotics event because we just couldn't find ice time, anywhere in the Bay Area. So it's rough.
And I work at a Parks and Rec rink, and so I I have seen the other side, like, I was involved in scheduling and that kind of thing, so I do see the rink management side as well. They have to bring in whatever can make them the most money in
Yeah.
order to keep the rink open, so it's kind of a catch-22. You wanna say, "Hey, figure skaters, you need all the ice," but
Mhm.
sometimes we can't bring in as much money, and so that makes it difficult too.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and I think sometimes that gets lost in some of these discussions, which is at the end of the day, they are businesses, and so businesses do need to do what's profitable for them, even with some Parks and Rec components. Yeah, that's a great point.
Right, it's just a hard puzzle to put together. Hockey teams want the ice too. Everybody wants the ice, and those kids deserve it just as much as figure skaters, and so having seen both sides of it, I actually had a hockey player, one of my sons played hockey.
Aw. Yeah.
It's hard. I don't know what the answer is. We do offer off ice classes. The coaches will teach off ice if ice time is not available or if they can just get a couple of hours. So that's something we've done to work around.
Yeah.
We have done just 1 day seminars where we come in and do 1 day and get all of it done and back out we go.
Oof, that's rough though. Really doing it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a little more difficult, but we can make it work.
It's wonderful. So I wanted to ask a little bit about like what you guys have done to combat rink scarcity. It sounds like some of it is pulling it to more off ice time. Is there anything else you could share on that?
Off ice time, we try to get typically clubs, like one club will host or we'll host at a club, but we get skaters from all over the country that come to that one site. So
Mm.
I think just making sure the word is out so people can use, if you do find ice and you do have time, making sure that everybody knows about it so they can all come to that. And it's not like, oh gosh, there was something there last weekend and I didn't know about it. And that's hard to do. But I think that that's helpful, just making sure that we all know the opportunities that are there
Mhm.
so we can share that time.
Definitely. And you guys are fantastic at marketing, from what I've seen at
Thank you.
least.
As a small business owner, like I had no idea what I was getting into. Oh gosh, we need a website. How do we do that? Let me find somebody, let me figure it out. It's just been crazy. So I do have a few people that help me with marketing, but a lot of times I just throw it out there too. So it's a little bit of everything. So thank you for saying.
Yeah, no, you guys have done such a fantastic job, and it sounds like as kind of a like small team and like small business, you guys are killing it. So keep whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
We are trying. I am so passionate about this. My husband laughs and says, "You're always in the office. If you're not at the rink, you're in the office." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I love to do,
Yeah.
and that's what it takes." So,
Major kudos because it does take a lot.
thank you, and to you too.
Oh,
You're
thank you.
doing the same thing.
Thank you. So as we're kind of wrapping up a little bit, is there anything else you'd like our listeners to know about skating, access to ice, any shout outs?
Gosh, I actually want to shout out to you guys because you're doing an amazing job at what you do. That's so difficult. I know it's a passion, and we do it just because of our passion for the sport and because we love it, but it's not always easy. So good for you. I've worked with some fantastic rinks and clubs that just want to provide this opportunity. So I want to thank all of them, honestly. Everybody I get the opportunity to work with. It's people ask me all the time, like, how did you do this? And is it hard? I'm like, it's really not. It's time consuming, but people have been so generous with their time and amazing and behind us that it's not difficult. It doesn't seem difficult. It doesn't seem like work.
That's so awesome. And that really means that you've got the grassroots swell kind of behind you, which is phenomenal. No, I absolutely love that. And I mean the fact that you're as motivated as well and just it can be a tough sport. And I love what you guys are doing as far as like positivity to the sport and providing access to adults, providing access to competitive skaters.
Absolutely. Everybody shares the same passion. It doesn't matter if you're headed to the Olympics, which is phenomenal, but if you're just hoping you're an adult hoping to land a single jump, amazing. It's whatever goal you set for yourself, and it doesn't really matter what that is.
I love that so much. And are there any camps that our listeners should know about to keep an eye out for that?
So we'll be in Provo, Utah on the 12th and 13th. So shortly, I just talked to, I don't know if they've announced it yet, but in Ohio, Bowling Green, Ohio is going to do a camp. There's a couple other in the works. So I don't know. Just keep an eye on our social media. That's how we put it out there.
Perfect, and we'll link that in so people can get to it for sure.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Well, no, it's been wonderful chatting with you. Yeah, is there anything else that you'd like to share? Otherwise, this has been so interesting to learn about Road to Gold and your passion for it.
I think more than anything that I share with people is if an opportunity comes your way,
Mhm.
take it. Take it. This opportunity just happened to come my way at the right time in my life, and it's been so fulfilling. So always be open to new opportunities.
I love it. That's such good, like, wise words. I think similar for S visa, I think I had no idea this was happening or going to happen or whatnot, and I got pulled into it, and here I am
And here I
almost 10
am.
years later. So no, it's wild. Well, thank you also for your support of S visa and our mission and supporting our galas. It's been genuinely such a delight to work with your organization, and having you on the podcast has been really special. And hearing about how it started and I just wish you guys the most luck, and if there's anything we can ever do to support, obviously, please let me know.
Thank you so, so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, stay tuned. We will have some more exciting episodes coming up. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.
Cheers.